Look at the handwriting on this script. See? This is quality script. Yeah, the script sucks, but doesn't matter. So today we're going to be looking at some tips for how to do raids, because a lot of people have been getting comments and stuff like, well, how do you get groups together for raids? How do you get so many people battling raids with you? How do you have the legendaries and stuff? So I brought together 3 different tips that I've used to help bring people together in order to catch the legendary Pokemon and just, you know, Tyrannosaurus, Machamps, general raid bosses, whatever people are interested in. So I'm going to go over them real quick, and yeah, I hope you enjoy them. Alright guys, let's get started with tip number 1. So tip number 1 is how to find some pre-existing groups out there that may already exist on the internet. So these are really nice because they have people who are going to raids and are talking about raids, and if you can get on one of those groups, you can go to those raids and then catch the Pokemon, which is what you want to do. It's the point of raids. So how to find them is you're just going to want to go onto Google, and then you type in your town. Let's just say it's Stillwater, because that's my town. So you want to say like Stillwater Pokemon Go. And then you should get some results, hopefully. But chances are, if you're in a pretty small town, you might get a bunch of like scattered groups that are out, you know, not really active, but there's occasionally people posting. So there's people there. So if you find a lot of those really small groups, what you can do is you can create a new group, tell everybody in the smaller groups about it, and mash them all together. And you can get one big active happy community. So that works well, because then you have what, I mean, the end goal is to get a big active community, because then you can get raids together. But if you're not finding any groups at all, there's just nothing out there, then what you're going to want to do is listen up to the next tip, tip number 2. Alright, so the second tip here is creating a group. So this may seem kind of daunting and challenging at first, but really it isn't that difficult. I mean, you can keep it really light and maybe just have an iMessage group. Just ask people you meet at raids like, hey, do you want to join this iMessage group? We have a couple of people. Because once you get a group like that going, just if you keep that momentum, you can really get a big group together. Like, I've started a little iMessage group. It isn't too big, but it helps. Like, we had a Moltres raid with only like 2 people, but then I posted it on the message and a bunch of people said they were going to come over, and we beat it. So it really does help, even just starting small. And then just really be social, just don't be shy, you know. And then once you grow, you can maybe expand on to say making a WhatsApp group or even an entire, you know, Facebook page, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just ask people at raids if you know, do you want to join this group? Because a lot of times they'll just say yes, because, you know, everybody wants to get legendaries, and I know it works. I've done it. So another thing you can just ask people at raids, like, is there already a group? Because a lot of times there is, and you can't find it just by Googling, because Google isn't that great. But people will just be like, oh yeah, we made one, join it. So just asking people that you actually meet at raids, or just, you know, around the game, is super important, because they're the people who are going to be making these groups and active in them. So tip number 2, just make a group if you can't find any. Alright, and then tip number 3 is kind of a general tip for if you're kind of in an area and you already have some people there that you got for maybe your groups, but you still just don't have quite enough people. And this kind of works if there's like a small town and there's a couple people playing, but they see a raid, there's like, oh, there's no way there's going to be any people there. It's not even worth my time. So what you can do is you can put down a lure in a nearby Pokestop, and they'll be like, oh, there's people there because there's a lure there. So even if it's like maybe even a couple blocks away, people will still see that lure near that raid, and they know there's people other than them there. Another thing, if you're in a more dense area and there's gyms around, just take over that gym, show you're active there. Because people will see that that gym was only taken over 5 minutes ago, so there must be people in that area. So just do the things in the game that other people can say. Put down lures, battle gyms. If you're with a group of people who are on different teams, just battle the gym back and forth, because then people know how many people are there. I mean, it may seem silly, but sometimes that's what people need to just come over and help out with the raid. Alright guys, so if none of those 3 tips are working for you, there's just nobody at all in your area, you're really rural, you might, because of the way raids are designed right now, just have to go to a more populated area and, you know, see if there's people there. I mean, there should be if it's a more populated area, like a downtown, or, you know, even a slightly bigger city could help. So, sorry if those tips didn't work, but I really hope they did, because they really worked for me. So try them out, even if you're doubting. Just make those groups, join those groups, find those groups, because groups are the most important thing right now. With raid battles, it's pretty much the only way to get these super powerful Pokemon. So yeah, be social and enjoy the game. So I hope these tips helped out. Have a great day. Like and subscribe and share if this helped you. See you later.